What's up? Today I wanted to just give you guys a tour of the space, a tour of the studio, because I've never done that before, and I wanted you guys to see where all of my recording, production, where it all happens. So let's jump in. So let's start at the work desk real quick. So this right here, the actual desk itself, is a replica of I forget what it's called, but it's the desk by Output, the studio desk by Output. Kind of show you guys a side profile so you can see. And I actually just I found some plans like online that were super close. There were a few modifications, but I've built this probably 5, 6 years ago now. It was way cheaper than buying the desk from Output, but I loved the way it looked, like the side profile and everything. I loved the rack spaces. I think the only thing I changed is these center ones on the output desk. They're slanted, and so I just kept them straight up. But I love having that, and I used to have a full rack space, but then I kind of got rid of a few things that I didn't need anymore. And so that's the desk. I built it out of birch plywood, and then it's got like this gray stain, gel stain on it that one of my buddies told me about, and I really love the way it came out. It survived, I think, 4 moves at this point, where I've had to take it apart and put it back together, and so that has been it's been killer. I've loved having it. It's been awesome for me, and so definitely encourage you guys, get a good desk that you like. It really does make a difference, because I used to just have kind of like just a whatever workspace, but having an actual workspace that you love makes a massive difference. Okay, next thing we're gonna move, like we'll get down to the nitty gritty. We'll move to the chair. This is the chair, TJ Maxx. That's what I'll say about that. But right here we're rocking, interface wise, we're rocking the Apollo Twin X. So that's actually super cool story. I'll turn the camera around for this. My worship team actually got that for me like 2 years ago. And when I tell you it's been a massive blessing, it came at the perfect time. And like literally it was a godsend. Because I used to be rocking a Scarlett 18i20, and it's crazy that even just like a piece of gear can like re-inspire you. Like I just got a new interface, and like it completely re-inspired me, and I felt like so inspired to create, to do. And honestly, shout out to my worship team. Love them, love being a part, get a part of a church. It's awesome. And so I've been rocking that for a couple years now. I love it. And I actually have um, the Apollo UAD console, and I have like my preset that I've saved. I love being able to save presets inside of here that are low latency. It's pretty killer. Definitely would recommend them. The next thing I'm going to move to is my Audio Technica. These are the ATH M50Xs. I've had these for maybe like 4 or 5 years now, and they've served me well. I need to get some covers, because you can see they're starting to like shed a little bit, and so I need to get some covers. But yeah, overall, I would say they're a great headphone. I would definitely purchase them again. I'm not doing any super intense mixing, only like producing, recording, and they've been great for that, and I've absolutely loved them for that. And they come with like this long cable, they come with another like normal size cable, and then they come with a short cable that works great, and I love it. And then we'll move on. Let's move on to these guys right here. These are the JBL MK2s. JBL, the 3 series MK2s. I also got these, probably these are honestly like 7 years old now at this point, and so they've been with me a while. There's a few things in here that I kind of all bought at the same time when I was first starting off, and dude, I love them. For anybody that's looking to get into it, they're pretty cost effective. Definitely would recommend these guys. I love them. They're great. and they've served me well. They've lasted well. Shout out to Guitar Center. That's where I bought them from. So they work great. Next, let's move to my computer. So the main workstation. This is a 2023 MacBook Pro M2. It's got 1 terabyte of data on board. I love having the 1 terabyte because I had a 2017 MacBook Pro that I originally had, and it only had, I think, 500 gigs, and I was running out of like storage for like apps to even be downloaded. And so just be mindful of like what you're using it for. And obviously I used that for my everyday computer for when I was in school, and so I had a bunch of different things, but just be mindful of like when you're purchasing one, what you're going to be using it for. This has been great having 1 terabyte. I haven't ran into any of those issues. And then I also run all of my Logic sounds, stock and third-party plugins off of this hard drive right here. This is a 1 terabyte Lacy SSD that has worked. I've had this for like 4 years now, and it's worked great. I run MainStage Live off of it. I run Logic off of it with all my projects, everything, and it's been great. This is just a monitor that I stole from my wife. It works great. I love it. Then this is a Spotify waveform that somebody got framed for me whenever I released my first song. It's called Every Giant, Every Chain. You can't really see it, but shout out. I love having this. This is really sentimental to me because it was my first one, and so I love it. Next, let's move over to like some of the actual gear. We'll start with the cases. So this is the Gator case that fits a 66 key or 61 key, I mean. And this is this is what this guy goes in. And then this is the Gator case that fits an 88 key, and that's what this guy goes in. We'll start up top. This is an M Audio Code 61. I don't know if they make them anymore. At least they don't make the white anymore. They were just ending making the white whenever I bought these, but I have 2 of these same MIDI controllers. One that I use for travel that's in there with a bunch of other stuff to where I have a travel rig that's always all ready to go. And then this guy that just stays here, and I love it. Realistically, I didn't need all this. I thought like having the XY pad built in was going to be great, but most of the time I'm not using that stuff. But that's probably a me problem, not necessarily a them problem. And then down here we have, this is an Alesis Coda Pro, 88 keys, weighted. It's super basic. I don't use any of the I don't use any like hardware sounds on it. It's all coming from software, so I'm basically just using it as a big MIDI controller, and it is great for travel because it wasn't super expensive. I bought it off a friend, so it wasn't super expensive, but it's great for travel. I'm not like terrified something's gonna happen to it, but also it gets the job done. So next, we'll look at this stand. Shout out to one of my other friends. I keep on saying I got it off a friend. Like half of my friends have helped me get all this stuff. Shout out to my friends. But this is an on stage stand, and word on the street is that it's like 20 years old, 15 years old, 20 years old, something like that. But it's awesome. I love it. It's super sturdy, and it travels with me everywhere. Anytime I go somewhere. Second tier is sturdy. First tier is sturdy. It's a really, really good build quality. And so definitely would recommend getting one of these. And it's got like the pull latch. You can kind of see it over here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's a pull latch that you pull and it collapses it or folds it open more. Next, we'll go down here. I just have these cheap little M Gear sustain pedals. You can see this one's kind of frayed at the end, but it still works. And so I love these. These work great. They have a little switch on the back if you need to switch polarity at all. And so they work really, really, really great. Next, let's move over to the microphone. what I'm running here, shout out to one of my buddies who put me on these when they first came out a couple years ago. It's the UA SD1, and this is literally their version of like an SM7B. If you like an SM7B, this is their version, and honestly, it's killer. I love it. It's $250, I think, still, and I got it. Like, this is like the very original version. I pre-ordered this, and I was using like a $60 PreSonus microphone that was hot garbage, but this thing, like, killer. Definitely, if anybody's like just trying to step up to the next level, would recommend these mics. As you can see, it's twisted. I don't have it tightened on enough. That's good. And so yeah, this is just, I think, just like a musician's gear, maybe like a guitar center stand. Any stand works. You can buy the Amazon Basics ones. And over in Guitar World, I have these stands. I'm missing my acoustic guitar, but I play just I'm not a huge guitar player, so I just get a $350 Washburn that, you know, it does well. And then I just recently upgraded to, I bought an HX Stomp XL. Got a killer deal on Facebook Marketplace. Search Facebook Marketplace for all your gear. If you're a used type of person, I have no problem using used gear, but got a killer deal, and I just bought a volume pedal, a little Dunlop volume pedal for it, and it is great to have around. I use it like at church. I use it for producing, everything. But back to Guitar World. My electric right here, this other one, I don't really use. It's an LTD though. Never played it before. But this is a Music Man sub-series. It's the Sterling by Music Man sub-series. Just a little like Strat. And honestly, I love that thing. I think it sounds great. Every time I use it, it never goes out of tune. Blows my mind. It's never out of tune. Love it. Definitely gonna keep that thing like forever. Wouldn't mind upgrading some of the parts in it. And so, you know, maybe drop some suggestions on you know, maybe some good pickups or whatever else I need to do it. I'm not a guitar know-it-all, so open to suggestions there. And then this is actually, I don't really play bass, but this is the church I lead at. This is their Ibanez. We purchased it for people to learn on. And so anytime I need bass, I'll just kind of track it on there and just get a little demo track, but then I send it to my friend to actually track. And then I almost forgot, over here is where I keep, like, I got a bunch of cables, miscellaneous cables, computer cover, maybe some other hard drives that I have and stuff, just so I can have quick access, and it's right next to my computer. And then I always keep a notebook and like pens and stuff, all stuff that I want quick access to, like if I'm writing or if I'm, you know, just in here producing and need to make notes, if I'm sound designing and want to make notes, like if I hear something that sounds great but might not necessarily be what I need for this project, I love to have a notebook or two around to make sure to make those notes, because like as much as we want to say this is like creative, and it is, there are some like practical things you can do to help keep you creative and help inspire you, you know. So definitely lock in on some of those more practical things. And then I got a Bible under there as well. And so the next thing we'll talk about is you'll see all the acoustic panels around here. Got some right here, my little makeshift little back wall. None of those are hung. The ones on the wall are hung, like that one. All these are hung. But I made these. I literally just got, I ordered the insulation from not sure where, but it's 2-inch thick. Yeah, it's 2-inch thick insulation. It's 2 by 4, 2 foot by 4 foot. And then I made the frames by just going to Home Depot and getting 1x3s and making a box. And I put a little backing on the back of these, a little wooden frame to help with some of the rigidity to help keep it stable. And I've had those for 3 years. That was my Christmas present to myself one year. So I've had those for 3 years, 4 years now, and they've been great. Massive upgrade for the room. And definitely you can do those cost effective. I think total for all 6 of them, honestly fabric was the most expensive part, but for all 6 of them I think I spent like $350. And so definitely you don't have to spend $1,000 to get 4 or 5 panels. You can if you don't want to do the work, but if you know how to do some of that stuff, or if you just want to watch a YouTube video and you know somebody who has some tools, definitely do that. And then the next thing we'll do is we'll go behind here to the closet. Okay, so I'm giving you all the full studio tour behind the curtain and everything, even the closet. But I just wanna show y'all that, like, man, hey, here's what it looks like as a full-time worship pastor who's also trying to steward what he feels like the Lord has given him and what the Lord is calling him to. You ain't gotta have it all. Like, just start where you're at. So here's the closet. I have a little flooring that I'm storing in here because I want to keep it in a climate controlled environment. But then also this is like all like just some storage space for different things, like all the boxes, you know, Apollo, my All Claire, shout out All Claire, box is upside down, but those are my in-ears I use. I got custom molds. And then this is my old Scarlett interface right here, 18i20. This is a saxophone that, like, if you know how to play, teach me how to play saxophone. And then I have some like different like vocal things. I got a mister right here. Here's some other things, you know, you gotta have tennis balls. But this is fabric as well, and like a mic. I forget what you call those things, but put on the mic to where it won't mess with your plosives. And then on the other side, let's open these up. On the other side, I have a Pearl Decades Maple Kit. It's like, I don't know, some blue, light blue, dark blue. And I have this whole kit that I actually just got put in here. I'm gonna be storing it in here until I move to my next studio space, which hopefully is happening within the next year or so. And then this little guy is in storage right here. This is a Behringer MIDI foot controller that I have a main stage guitar setup that sometimes like I'll let people use just to practice on, and like I used it for a while before I bought my Helix. And it's actually a great way to just kind of like intro into effects and like playing. And so basically just hook that to my interface and I have a whole guitar setup coming out of main stage. And so it's pretty neat. It's pretty great. If you don't have a lot of money, literally go on but you're a guitar player and don't want to buy pedals, go on the internet, find a main stage template and buy it for, you know, they're usually like $20-30, and start using that. And it is really great, really great. And then for other, like, I'd say less important things, like right here, I just have just kind of some decor that one of my buddies, one of my good friends made me this. It's Crown the King. This was before I released my EP called Crown the King. And I knew that the Lord had told me to release it and or name it this, my next EP. And so Crown the King, I got that. Then just got this. My wife picked this up. I'm sure all of this came from like TJ Maxx or something like that. Create. So yeah, there's my studio space. I'll give you kind of like a wide view of it all. That way you can kind of see where everything is in relation to each other. So yeah, that's my studio. That's where, you know, 95% of things happen in here, minus like I have a buddy whose house we track drums at, or we'll do it at church. And then occasionally I'll record something random somewhere else, but most of it happens here. And really I just wanted to show you guys this to show that, like, hey, start where you're at. Like, I know we go on YouTube and we see all the people who have all the great stuff that we all want, and definitely keep striving to get there, because we all need to keep growing and keep stewarding and push for more. But also, like, man, just like start where you're at, Honestly, this setup is way cooler than where I first started. I used to just be in my bedroom with a little desk that I got from one of the thrift stores for free because it was so bad. And, just start where you're at. Start creating where you're at. The biggest thing is like, man, like, what has the Lord called you to do, and steward it well. Whatever it is, maybe it's not music, maybe it's something else, but just like steward what the Lord has called you to do where you're at, and steward it well. Start now. Don't wait till you're there. Don't wait till you're in the same position of the YouTube videos that you watch, because in all reality, like, you're probably never gonna be there if you wait till you're there to start. And so start now. And so appreciate you guys watching, appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm gonna hopefully be doing this a little bit more often with some long form stuff. I'm taking a chance, I'm taking a risk. This is way outside of my comfort zone, and also, trying to find the time between full-time job, being a good dad, being a good husband, even things like keeping the yard cut, trying to find time between all of that sometimes is challenging, but hopefully I can stick to it and keep going. So, peace.